Broadcasting from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Slickfish Radio. I am your good-looking, competent, and somewhat modest host, Jim Crowley. Welcome to the show. I am so glad you are all here. It's been a couple weeks. Our last guest was Ott Defoe, and I want to thank Ott again for being on the show. We had so much fun, and he's such a nice guy. Before we get started, let you know a couple things been going on. iCast is coming up really soon, and we're going to be doing a really cool thing at iCast with Wired to Fish TV. So we're going to be doing some daily lives at iCast, keep you up to date a little bit what's going on. We'll have a couple more updates with a couple more guests that we have coming on before that. But iCast is going to be fun this year, and we look forward to joining in with all of you each day live, brought to you by Wired to Fish TV, and we will be talking about that. Just got done filming a great show in La Crosse with my buddy Jeremiah Burge from Explore La Crosse. And if you haven't got a chance to check out Wired to Fish TV lately, had two great episodes on in the last couple of weeks on smallmouth from Mille Lacs. And this week's episode, I think, is with my friend Troy Linder. So if you want to learn more about pre-spawn smallmouth bass, great show with Troy. We had fish over 5 pounds there. The show before, a couple of weeks ago, we had ones close to 6 pounds. So it was a lot of you chiming in already. Savannah Cove Outdoors. Hello, Savannah. I'm sure your dad's with you, Jim. Hi, how are you? So I want to thank our sponsors. And then before I do that, I want to tell you, make sure you stay tuned, because at the end of the show, we're going to have a question and answer, or not question and answer, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions, because we're doing a Lucas Oil giveaway, because our guest tonight is Director of Research and Development, Tom Bogner from Lucas Oil. So some of you commented before, you want to know some of the guts about Lucas Oil. What a great company. They invest so much in our outdoor industry. I'm so excited to have Tom on. He's just absolutely great guy. And you're going to be excited to learn some of the stuff, the roots, where he came from, and how much he is doing there with Lucas Oil and some of the products he's developed. So I'm excited to have Tom on. Such a great guy. And we'll get to him in just a minute. First of all, I want to thank American Tackle Company. I will be with them at iCast this year. We have some cool products coming out, and we always have some great giveaways, usually from American Tackle. They're a big supporter of this show, as well as Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired to Fish TV, as well as Explore La Crosse. As I was saying, I just got back from there with my buddy Jeremiah Burge. Largemouth, smallmouth. It was crazy. Even a big walleye and some other stuff. We had a great adventure, and that show will be on Wired to Fish TV soon. Also, Shields in Springfield, Illinois. Just so you know, besides fishing equipment and everything else they got there, if you like to run, largest selection of shoes in the Midwest, has to be. If you like to bike, they have technicians at Shields for everything you like to do with biking. Shields is your one-stop shop. Everything in the outdoors. Best store around. They say as soon as you walk in the door, customer service, big sign says, God bless America. Check out Shields in Springfield, Illinois. We are powered always by Dakota Lithium with their 11-year warranty. And as much as they support the outdoor industry too, we're proud of all our sponsors. We're proud all of you are here tonight, and we're going to have some fun tonight. So I'm going to bring in our guest. I'm going to bring in Tom Bogner. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Jim.
Great. Hey, this is, I'm going to say hi to some people here. Neil, hey, Jim, glad to be on. Been watching your show on Plex. That's awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Ted Kowski. Hey, Ted, how are you? Tom, we're thrilled to have you. Anybody who comes on my show with a Mustang in the background, it's welcome on this show anytime. Just telling you, the backdrop couldn't have been better.
Perfect.
So you've been with Lucas Oil, since 2004. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because there's a huge and I know we got some racing fans in the audience. You've got a huge racing background. Just go into it, man. Let them know about you.
Well, I actually started in the heavy duty industry after the military, and that's how I met the Lucases as a customer. So long story short, I used to come in to buy hydraulic oils and heavy duty oils for the dairy industry to pick up, and I would listen to the customer service calls from my sales rep, and I was starting to do a little racing at the time, drag racing, bracket racing, and I used to take some calls and answer the questions for the sales rep. Mm-hmm. And long story short, Forrest Lucas would overhear some of these conversations, and it turned into one day coming in to pick up product, and I get a phone call on the way in, like, "Hey, Tom, while you're here, do you have time to talk to Bob Pattison and Forrest Lucas? They want to talk to you." And I'm like, "What did I do? Am I in trouble?" You know? And my wife at the time, was on a cruise in Alaska with her sister, and they offered me a job. And I always, I had met Forrest at the racetrack when Morgan Lucas was just licensing in Super Comp before he ever did any Top Fuel or Top Alcohol stuff. And I remember one time I met Forrest and I mentioned to him, I may want to work for you someday. And here, you never know, right? I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and probably flip-flops heading in to pick up oil. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in the office with Forrest Lucas, and he's offering me a job. And I'm thinking, wow, I have a company house, company car where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing what I want to do.
Right.
And sometimes you have to take a risk, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, this is for our younger audience members, and I know there are some watching tonight, you never know who's watching you. So one of the things I always tell our viewers is, you know what? You never have to worry about doing the right thing as long as you do the right thing.
Right.
And you were doing it, and there's a life experience lesson. You just proved it right there.
So I called my wife, was lucky enough to get a hold of her, being as far away as she was, and just asked her, what do you think? Should I take this job offer? I'm probably going to lose some money at first, but, it'll be getting me into what I'm passionate about. And I took that chance. And so they hired me into customer service as a sales executive, basically as, salesman.
Sure.
And worked in customer service. I knew some of the core products because I already used them. And I had actually started to help them develop some of one of the products at the time was called it's now called Pure Synthetic Oil Stabilizer. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even on a label yet. And they asked me if I would test it in my race car, which was an 87 IROC, kind of like this thing, but a drag car, like an 800 horsepower bracket,
wow.
A 10-second car. So I kind of started to play with some of their products as a customer. And it just ended up, literally went from I think about a year in sales when they offered me the position of marketing director. Shauna, the girl at the time, was going to move on. They knew I had the interest in the racing, and they wanted to give me a stab at it. They hired me into that position, or moved me into that position, and then renamed it Director of Motorsports. I was the very first Director of Motorsports for Lucas Oil, and worked that position for 15 years. So during that time, I actually still helped, obviously, with sales, but it put me in touch with the race teams, and that's what really sparked my interest in the beginning on products that I saw that Lucas didn't have, or products that I thought I could help evolve into where they should be.
Yeah, but you even said you had an interest at a young age in doing stuff like this, didn't you? I'd heard there are rumors, maybe I read it in what you sent me, that said, you burned some carpeting as a kid, and you're on your chemist set.
I mean, I took chemistry in high school, but as a kid, I always, was a Boy Scout and did all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But my mom would buy, she bought me a chemistry set, and I would mix the chemicals in the house. I remember like literally burning carpet, which didn't go over very well,
No, I can imagine it won't, but they should be happy at what you're doing now. But that's funny. But you served in the military. Thank you for that. I big admiration for that. I want to just tell some people some things about what you've done, because some of the products that you've helped develop are some of my absolute favorite ones. And so I'm going to read you guys some of the stuff. Well, Tom's on here, obviously. But some of the impactful products that he's developed is the assembly lubricant, the extreme pressure valve, train grease, the engine brake and additive TB zinc, which we're going to talk about because I've mentioned that on the show. That is phenomenal. the Junior Dragster Oil, Extreme Duty Gun Oil, which is another one of my absolute favorites, Hot Rod and Classic Oils, Engine Braking Oils, several gear oils, including L9, 140, 250 Racing, and you had a big role in many of the current racing engines used today. I bet Mr. Lucas has got to be pretty thrilled that you were a customer and you've come on with this. And this has to be really a big satisfaction point with you, being able to help out and give people products and develop products that have helped people to do what they do even better, isn't it?
It is. I mean, when I was approached by teams like in the NHRA side, guys like Frank Manzo, they called him the ace. Back then he was like the top alcohol funny car. They were using Redline Assembly Lube, but using our race oil. And they asked me about, why can't Lucas make one of these? And so I think that was my first product that I made in the lab. And I made small samples, took it to the racetrack, let them try it. And the beauty about a top alcohol or a top fuel team, they take the engine apart every time. So you could get firsthand, yes or no on the product, immediate data. And the funny part of that story is I was making small, like quart batches, filling little containers myself, testing them with teams. And it went from there to a 5-gallon pail. And the guys downstairs would have to hand fill these little bottles, and they would get so mad at me. They're like, I hate you, Tom. I hate you. And I said, well, you just wait. This product is going to sell, and you're going to have to fill a lot of them. Well, AutoZone picked that up.
There you go.
And it was 4,500 cases on the first order. So,
oh my goodness.
So you just never know, it did feel good. It felt good. Still feels good when I walk into a parts store and I could see something on the shelf that I made. I made it. It wasn't my job.
That's awesome.
But I made it.
That's awesome.
How all of them started, being in the industry. The TB Zinc, for example, they were having issues with camshafts. So I just thought, well, why don't I just take our zinc package and let's make a product and test it and evaluate it. That's what I did. And when I designed that label, I put TB Zinc on the front of the bottle because Forrest told me, well, now you got to develop or design a bottle. And I put it on his desk, and I'll never forget walking in.
So put your name on it, or your initials.
Right on the front. And he goes, kind of smiled, and he goes, okay, we'll just make the zinc bigger or larger so that they can really see that zinc, because it was such a big deal back 2008 or whenever that came about. And we launched that product at SEMA that year, and it won a global media award, and Forrest was really happy. And, now you can find that product in CarQuest, Napa, O'Reilly, that. So for sure, when you can put something back into the company, it feels good.
And the TB Zinc is what, and I even called you when we first tried this on a new boat engine on my Miracraft a couple years ago. I had read about this product and I wasn't sure really how to relate it to the public. And Tom let me call him. I talked to Luann Krell, and she goes, call Tom and talk to him, because I go, I don't want to relay the wrong information about this. And we've done a couple of videos on it now. And was that a bonus that you found out about that? Because it's a great, and the reason I'm telling our listeners is when you have a new boat engine, this is absolutely a phenomenal product to break in your engine safer than it's ever been broken in before, in my opinion. Was that something you had planned on, Tom, or was it you just found that out going, hey, this is going to be great for outboard engine break-ins?
Well, any engine really. So just to help out the audience, 7, 8, well, actually more than 10 years ago, I guess now, time flies. The oils used to be over 800 parts per million. Many of the oils out there that were SM or SN rated were 1,200, 1,400 parts per zinc, which is a ZDDP package. Well, the government came in and said, if you're going to API license these oils, you're going to have to meet the minimums, and the standards are you can't exceed 800 parts per million. So that can have an effect on wear, especially if you have stronger valve springs, or you just, you have more compression, or, it depends a lot on the type of engine. Zinc and phosphorus do a really good job of protecting the metal surface, providing that barrier upon the first break-in. When you have, for example, your rings, the hone may have just a slight barrier, and that zinc and phosphorus allow the rings to seat in where they're comfortable and seal that engine up. So yeah, definitely has applications for any kind of gasoline, diesel engine, two-stroke, whatever. Not really two-stroke, I guess, but four-stroke engines are going to benefit. But I also want to let the audience know that it's a really highly concentrated bottle. So if you're doing like a Yamaha 150 engine, that only holds 4 to 5 quarts of motor oil.
A half bottle.
Half a bottle is fine, and you could actually run that in the drive to help protect that gear set down below.
Yeah, I've used one bottle for my last 2 boats that I broke in every year, and it's been great, and I just absolutely love it. We're gonna take a break for, like Chuck Woolery used to say, 2 and 2. And then we'll come back and we're going to talk with Tom, because I got some new products that are some new and old products. A couple of them I want to talk to Tom about, just to inform you on. So hang on. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. American Tackle is home to the award-winning microwave line control system. Rod blanks to reel seats, ferrules to finish, grips to guides. They're committed to the very best in rod building components. Find out more, americantackle.us. With fishing beyond your expectations, indoor and outdoor activities, a vast variety of places to eat, drink, and stay. Discover your next adventure between the bluffs. ExploreLaCrosse.com. Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever. Go to Shields.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan and harnessing their unique chemistry and engineering know-how. Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passion with an 11-year warranty. Find out more, DakotaLithium.com.
Slickfish Radio with Jim Crowley can be seen and heard on Roku, Fire TV, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes.
Hey, we are back. Thank you for joining us. I'm with Tom Bogner from Lucas Oil. I want to throw up a couple discount codes here just so you people know. American Tackle is giving you 20% off if you go to AmericanTackleAnglerProducts.com. Put in the code JCO20. Rods, reels, tackle bags, you name it, you can get 20% off at AmericanTackleAnglerProducts.com just by putting in that code. Now, the other one here, this is brand new from Fish 419. They upped it. If you're in the Shields, Springfield area, go to Shields. They have the largest selection of Fish 419 sunglasses in the Midwest, the ones that I use. If not, go to fish419.com, put in the code thanks JC, and you will get 15% off there. And make sure you stay tuned at the end, because after we let Tom go in just a little while, we still got some more questions to talk with him about. But then we're going to be doing a little Lucas Oil giveaway, and I'm going to ask you some questions. So you better been paying attention to this interview, because that is how you're going to be able to win. So, and Tony Lamarca just topped on. Hi, Tony. How are you? Thanks for joining us. All right, Tom, one of the things that I want to talk to you about, one of the new products from Lucas Oil, one that I'm thrilled with. I use it on my car. I use it on my boat. I've got my cameraman who uses it on his off-road bike. We use it to shine a bunch of things, and that is a new ceramic speed wax. I think it's absolutely incredible product. I use it along with the boat wax and the slick mist for my vehicle as well. But the ceramic wax is really done well from what I've seen in the market. Tell us a little bit about that, because that's pretty cool protection in a bottle for just about any vehicle, isn't it?
It is. And ceramic, you can spend a lot of money taking your car somewhere to have applied. And it's relatively easy. I use it on my Mustang, and I use the regular standard slick mist as my maintenance item, and then I kind of seal it a little bit. And I like the ceramic shine. It's a deeper, I can actually see less scratches when I use the ceramic, and it's a hybrid. So it's really simple. I mean, it says right on the bottle to allow up to 8 hours to cure, but it dries really easy. And as you've seen, it goes on real easy.
Yes.
I've been really impressed. I was able to use the product, obviously before it was packaged, and used it on my Ford Ranger that has a more of a charcoal color. I tried it on, actually, I just did a video where I actually think I went down a whole row of 10 AC Cobras, every color you can imagine.
That's not right, dude. Don't do that to me.
At super performance. And they're using it now. And yeah, it's a great, easy to use product that you can use once a month or whatever you like, but it will provide that UV protection as well.
And one thing that I noticed about, because I've used it since I travel with my boat uncovered, and we just got back from doing a Minnesota trip, which was 9 hours, and last week was lacrosse, which is 5.5. So I put the ceramic wax all over the whole boat because it's good on decals too, guys. So if you have a wrap vehicle, a wrap boat, it's still going to work, just like the Slick Mist is going to work on that. Here's the cool thing. So on the engine cowling, since I travel with it uncovered, you're going to obviously have a bunch of bugs on there. So a couple days before that, I put the ceramic wax on. The boat's in the garage. I let it dry for the 10 hours like it's recommended. And like Tom said, you don't have to, but I did. Then I wiped it off. So when we got to the location and back, I left the bugs stay on there that were on there. I got home. I took a hose and a simple cloth. Everything came off. Everything came off. And it still had that shine. That's 14.5 hours of road stuff back and forth. And that ceramic wax protected my cowling, and it was easier those bugs did not bake on there like they can in the sun on an unprotected engine. Slick Mist is fantastic, in my opinion. Even between waxes, you take the boat out of the water, dry the boat off. It's an easy clean. Then once a month, like Tom said, it takes 15 minutes on a vehicle, tops, or your boat to spray everything down, let it sit in the garage or let it sit overnight out of the sun, let it dry, wipe it down. You will be extremely impressed. And Tom, I'm betting you guys are getting a lot of the same comments and results from that, aren't you?
We are. The reviews have been really good. And, our marketing or partnership team has been sending that out with all the partnership packages for the renewals. So the teams are starting to use it and post their own videos. So I've been getting a lot of feedback, and all the feedback's been really positive. I take it to some car shows myself, and, I want it to be like Slick Mist. When it came out, Lucas Oil is not really known as a cleaning product. So when you've been on another product like a Mother's or Meguiar's for your whole life, sometimes it's hard to switch.
Sure.
One thing I think for the marine industry is if you're using that ceramic and you pull your boat out and then you take off in your trailer and your boat's still wet, it beads up so well that it'll just allow that water to sling off and have less, build up on your boat.
My camera guy likes taking his bike off road. He likes doing mountain biking, things like that. And so he sprayed it on there, and that is exactly what he said. Going through mud and puddles like that, got home, sprayed it off. He goes, Jimmy, the stuff just came right off. He goes, it's incredible. He goes, it's absolutely incredible. He goes, that's a lot of money for the mountain bike that he put in, just like we invest in our vehicles. And he goes, this is the best stuff I've ever used. He goes, I can use this bottle on one bottle on his wife's car, his truck, and his mountain bike almost the entire season and have all that protection all in one single bottle. Impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really easy. I think one of the challenges right now, and it's normal when you have a new product, is getting our distributors, to take it on, So once it's a little more available, like the fact that, Slick Mist, you can walk into an AutoZone and just grab it right off the shelf.
Right.
I'll be really happy when it's on the shelf at our big retailers so that it's a little easier. Because, I'll promote a product and then everybody's like, well, where do I go get it? And I'm like, well, that's our sales. That's the sales team challenge. But you have to create a demand, and talking about it and showing people and proving how it works helps get the word out so they'll take it on.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying, that's what we're trying to do on end. That's what we do as ambassadors, to try to get it out there, because bottom line, I've been in this industry for more than 25 years now. I simply just won't use anything I don't believe in. I won't promote anything I don't believe in. And you probably know Brad Lutz, who's one of your sales guys, and Brad and I is kind of hooked up. We've known each other for years, and we're sitting in an airport 6-7 years back or whatever, and we're just talking, just like you said, you were talking to Forrest, and Brad just looks at me and goes, why aren't we working together? And I go, I don't know. I use the products, and that's just, like you said, you never know how it can happen. And now it turns around to products that I used anyway. I'm going to show one here because I have a lot of miles on my vehicle, and so does my wife. And this is a product that we use, and or not this one. Let me hear. Here we go. The high mileage oil stabilizer. And one of the absolute first products that Lucas had was the oil stabilizer. I remember the little gadgets in the store, that sparked a huge industry with that little thing, because it actually showed what that oil does. When your mechanic tells you, and this is what my mechanic told me, I did a post a couple months back when my mechanic told me, he goes, Crowley, you can keep your vehicle darn near as long as you want. It's a 2017 Ford, and it's already got 120,000 miles on it. And he goes, you can keep that vehicle just about as long as you can with that engine, because you're running that high mileage oil additive from Lucas in there. He goes, it is so much better for your engine. He goes, don't stop doing what you're doing. And his honest words were, honest to God, he said, when you run Lucas, you run the best. And that's why I will continue to use that oil stabilizer. And that's basically what this company grew in a lot, wasn't it?
Right. Built the company around 4 core products: the heavy duty oil stabilizer, fuel treatment, the transmission fix, and the power steering stop leak are really what kick-started the company. And he proved those products in his trucks and sampled them to truck stops and started to package that stuff. And I can remember the days when they would high-five themselves over a pallet order, and now how things have changed, with 2 production facilities.
Sure.
And one thing to let your customers know too, the followers on here, is to use the right additives. That's another important, right. A high mileage vehicle, 75,000 miles or over, clearances start to loosen up, rings start to need a little help. The heavy oil stabilizer at 10% or so really makes a big difference. If you're in Minnesota in the middle of winter, you don't want to put a real thick additive in your oil that your vehicle takes a 0.20.
Right.
So you want to use what we call the low viscosity oil stabilizer in the newer engines with the variable valve timing and whatnot, or the pure synthetic. So that's where I kind of draw the line, is to make sure and educate people that, hey, I've always used this, and they buy a brand new car 15 years later. That's, nowadays we have 0.16s in Hondas, and putting something really thick and viscous in there won't help your mileage, but it will help in like your application.
Right. And there's a lot of information on the Lucas Oil website. We do have a question from the audience, and one of our members here asks, what's the price point like? And I'm guessing he's talking about the ceramic wax. Can you go into that a little bit? I think it's like $12.99 or something like that.
Correct. Yeah, it's going to be retail around $12.99. So it's really competitive with all the others out there. So really, for the larger size that we have, I think it's a really good deal.
Yeah, Neil, for ask that question, Neil, I'm just telling you, I've used the same bottle on my vehicle 2 or 3 times already. So it is well worth the money compared to, as Tom stated previously, if you go and get a ceramic wax job, you're going to be paying a lot when you can easily do it yourself. And I promise you have my word, you will see instant results. You will be impressed with it. I'll tell you, Tom, I appreciate you being on. Why don't you give a little bit about information? He said, awesome. Thanks. He goes, is it available in Canada? Because we do have some people listening from Canada.
Yes. And
there you go.
One of our reps, Dwayne LaFleur, is kind of working on that right now.
Okay. There you go, Mitch. And thanks for joining in from Canada. God bless you. And all the people joining in tonight. Don't leave just yet, because after I let Tom go, we're going to give away this Lucas Oil package here. Tom, before you leave, and I have to take you off here and miss that Mustang in the background. Can you give us some of the Lucas Oil information where people can find out? Well, then just go and check out some more information about Lucas Oil.
Yeah, if you have concerns, the easiest way is just log on to lucasoil.com. And on there we have all of our media. You can click into motorsports, whatever you're looking for, it's going to be on our website. I'd probably recommend that first.
And another easy way to do it too, if you just go to jimcrowleyoutdoors.com, you can find Lucas Oil right on our main page, and you can see everything about their outdoor line. You can see everything about automotive as well as the marine industry. Everything. If you have any kind of machine at all, Lucas Oil makes something that will make it run better, safer, and longer. Tom, it was great to finally meet you. We've talked before, and it was awesome to finally meet you. And I'm sure we'll be talking more in the future, because when I got questions, I'm definitely going to give you a buzz just to make sure I got the right information. Appreciate all you've done, and I sure appreciate your time.
One thing I got to do for you is show you. You said you had a '67 Mustang, which I did too.
That was my favorite car. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing we couldn't do back then was start them up with a key fob. So how about this?
If sexy was a car, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Tom, God bless you, buddy. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you all.
What a great guy. That was fun. And that's why I love doing this show. One, you guys got some great questions. I so much appreciate that. And I also appreciate all right, awesome. Thank you. Banners, let's go to this. Comments. Okay, this popped on. That's nice. Thanks for that. I really appreciate that. So the question for those of you here live, and thank you again for joining us. So I mentioned a product tonight. I mentioned a product that is great for your engine oil break-in, whether it be a vehicle or your boat. I said I used it twice on my new engines, on my new Miracrafts, on my new Mercuries. There's a product that Lucas Oil makes that I've used, and I recommend it highly for your engine break-ins. So, Len, boom. Yeah, you guys didn't even let me finish. Len Kajic just won. Len, you won, and Neil's right behind it. Len, you just won. He said TB Zinc. There you go. Len got it. He said TB Zinc. Got it. So, Len, you are going to get a very cool Lucas Oil Marine Products hat and some other Lucas Oil stuff and some other stuff that I'll probably throw in there. You guys know that. I will do that. Len, I will get your address again from you. I'll message you on Facebook later. And we will get you a very cool Lucas Oil giveaway pack. Lucas Oil supports our industry so much, and they're such nice people. Good, hard-working, God-fearing Americans. I love Lucas Oil. They are awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to thank again, first and foremost, all of you. You guys have helped grow this show. I love it. Thank you so much for doing that. I really hope you like the information and the fun we try to bring with you each and every episode. My beautiful, lovely, wonderful wife, Rhonda, just chimed in. Hi, sweetie. Hi, honey. I love you. I want to thank American Tackle Company, home of the award-winning microwave guide system. 6 industry awards just for that guide system. Nobody else has that. Explore Lacrosse. My adventures between the bluffs. Get ready for a new episode, probably coming out next week on Wired to Fish TV. If you don't have the free Plex app yet, get that. And my show is on 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, as well as 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We got some great people. You guys are great. Thank you all so much. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. Shields in Springfield, Illinois, my absolute favorite store. Again, I told you, if you live in the Springfield area or you're going by, visit that store. Absolutely phenomenal store. They have everything for everything outdoors, and these people know outdoors, period. The store in Springfield, Illinois, Shields, absolutely great people. We are powered by Dakota Lithium. We love them. In my boat this year, I've never had better power. Never. Than I've had, especially when you put it on spot lock and stay in current on the Mississippi River. I am telling you right now, Dakota Lithium, they are the real deal. I am so thrilled all of you joined us. Make sure, again, you check out other show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, on Wired to Fish TV. You can find us on Plex, and we have some new stations coming in too that I'll let you know in the future. We have another episode coming up in another couple of weeks, which will be a lot of fun. Another great giveaways. I thank you so much, all of you, again, for joining us. I sure appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless you. I'll see you soon.